Cathaoirleach, I'd just like to speak to Amendment 11 and 16 in particular. And I just wanted to take up the point there where Deputy McAuliffe mentioned that the amendment didn't say it was mandatory. However, Fianna Fáil were involved in the Climate Action Bill in 2019. You were also involved in that announcement, were you not? Where you said that the government intends to ban all petrol and diesel cars by 2030. So is that not mandatory, or have you a different perception of it, or are Fianna Fáil playing games again? What is the situation there? Because that needs to be called out. You know, you're misleading the public there with that. In regard to infrastructure, there is a chronic lack of infrastructure. I see that myself, particularly in the Midlands, and I know every region will see it in their own region, that there is a lack of infrastructure. There's a lack of foresight and planning, as per usual. It's ill thought out. And what I would be very concerned about is, because charging points are miles apart, they're so scarce, I think there's going to be major safety issues. I mean, are you expecting women who, many of whom, like myself, travel alone, are you expecting, you know, to expose them to danger where they may not be able to reach a charging point because the charging points just are not there? So you haven't thought this out. There are many issues that are thrown up, such as safety issues. With the electric vehicles. The other point I want to make is that there isn't confidence among the public in electric vehicles. And I know for a fact that there are many state agencies, one state agency in particular, that will not use electric vehicles if they have to use them on long journeys. Now, doesn't that say it all? That there is a lack of confidence in the ability and the reliability of electric vehicles. So I do think that there are issues there. For the ordinary person, obviously, they're not accessible because of the cost. You make the point, you know, about going to, you know, for zero to low emissions vehicles. And making the changes. However, our hauliers are still waiting on incentives to upgrade to the Euro 6 engines. So you're expecting people to change without putting any incentives or proper supports or even proper planning in place. And that's the worrying thing of all. In regard to amendment number 16, Deputy Ledden mentions the promotion and assisting of research, providing advice, information and guidance. And what stood out at me here was it also mentions engaging with the stakeholders. I sincerely hope you do engage with stakeholders and stakeholders who don't share the same viewpoint as yourselves. I think it's important to hear all views in regard to low emissions and how to achieve them, and not just a tick-the-box exercise, shoving your green medicine down people's throats, and only if they're saying the same thing will you engage with them. Because that has happened in relation to home heating and biofuels, where you point-blankly refuse to meet the Alliance for Zero Carbon. So I hope that you will engage with stakeholders in regard to electric vehicles, and that it won't go the same way as what happened in regard to biofuels for home heating. And I'll end on that note. Carol Nolan.